Alrighty, are we live? Let's look and see. And we are, sweet. Okay, welcome everybody. So, today we have a pretty significant tornado threat for this area of Nebraska. Um, as of right now, we only have a single storm that has fired around here about 45 minutes ago. Um, Otherwise, looks like other severe risks in the area, or not necessarily in the area, but around the U.S. There's a severe thunderstorm watch for southeastern Montana, northeastern Wyoming until that be looks like midnight. I want to say midnight. Sorry, 11 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Um, As of now, there hasn't been any severe thunderstorm risk associated with it, but there is a single special weather statement down near Gillette, Wyoming that is moving northeast at 36 miles an hour. The hazard is for, looks like 50 mile an hour hail, or 50 mile an hour winds and half-inch hail, or half-hour sized hail. Um, this really isn't our main threat for today. It is another threat to be wary of, but it's not our biggest threat for now. Outside of it, there's another severe thunderstorm watch for northwestern Iowa, southeastern Minnesota, northeastern Iowa, southwestern Wisconsin until midnight. Yeah, midnight Central Daylight Time, with two special weather statements for this current line of thunderstorms that is moving northeast. Um, this is getting out of the severe risk for today. Um, well, hello, whoever joined. So yeah, this is not really our risk area for today. Down here in Nebraska is. Um, Still, as of now, we really have one cell that is firing. Today's going to be either bust or it's going to be easily one of the most chaotic tornado days we've seen this year. Um, the one thing holding it back right now is I can pull models up really quick. Pull up the NAM. So the one thing really holding us back right now is our temps. It's really warm down here, right? So it's not going to give enough instability for the warm air parcels that we need to create instability to rise. Now, it's hard to say what's going to happen. Um, if the problem is, it's not necessarily going to be if storms fire. It's going to be how well can the storms continue. Because if you don't have enough instability in the air, you can't keep that updraft going. And when you can't keep the updrafts going, you can't keep storms. So this is for 3 hours from 7, so this will be about 10 tonight central. Um, this is high resolution rapid refresh, composite reflectivity, and this is what we're going to be watching, right? It's it's either going to make something or it's not. We'll see once it gets into more of this area, because right now for this area we're looking at Cape values of, let's see, silver Cape values. We're looking at Cape values of about 51, 5200 joules per kilogram. Up into the 54s, 55s once you get closer towards the Nebraska South Dakota border. So right now there is definitely enough for storms to fire. And it's it's just a waiting game to see what happens with our temps. So yeah, this is all that we got really going on right now. In other places, go down to Texas. There's a severe thunderstorm warning for, what county is this? This is Pecos County in Texas. Um, it's a severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-an-hour winds and 2-inch hail. So that is moving southeast, east southeast at 9 miles an hour. Um, we're in the areas of Fort Stockton or on State Route 18 between Fort Stockton and Coinosa. You should be looking for somewhere to take shelter because this is extremely damaging hail. Um, this hail can, or this hail will damage vehicles and will injure people if they're called outside without shelter. Um, Otherwise, outside of the area, we're looking at another severe thunderstorm warning in Virginia for 60-mile-an-hour winds. This storm is just to the east of Roanoke and it is moving southwest at 9 miles an hour. Um, this the pop-up storms aren't going to be really that much of an issue, right? We aren't really looking at any other region outside of here today. Um, Storm Prediction Center. Let me pull up everything really quick. Go and turn off Let's go discussions, and we're going to turn off watches and warn or watches. Um, so Storm Prediction Center has issued a slight risk for the portions of Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin, with damaging hail and damaging winds being the main threat, but a tornado risk cannot be ruled out for today. Um, as of now, there is a 5% tornado risk for portions of Nebraska, far northeastern Colorado, and far southwest or northwestern Kansas. And that 2% really extends through portions of southeastern South Dakota, southern Minnesota, into central Wisconsin and northern Iowa. Now, in this area, you're only going to see maybe an isolated tornado or two tonight. Um, but right now, this area down here is definitely going to be the area we are looking at. Um, so now we're just really playing a waiting game. Alright, let me make that really quick. Send out a ping real quick. So yeah, now we're just waiting to see what this cell does. Um, over the past about half an hour to an hour, this is what it's been looking like. You got more smaller cells starting to form up here, but right now it looks like this cell's starting to die out, so this one isn't going to be much of a risk as these cells per se are going to be. Um, so this is going to be the problem we're having today, right? You get storms that form, like down here, that start in a nicer, cooler area that this area is going to be today, and they're getting moved into a much warmer area, a much more stable area. That what's up, Owen? How are you doing today, bro? Turn it off. But no, so today looks like it's going to be a struggle for storms to keep firing, right? But if they do, um, we can't rule out a strong to severe tornado with really any storm that becomes a supercell in this area of Nebraska today, right? And that's really a big if storms are going to keep firing. So yeah, now right now is just a waiting game. Um, I'm starting to like the cells slightly more as tonight's going on. Um, it'll be interesting to see what happens, but we really can't rule. I figure in the next probably 2 to 3 hours is going to be the wait and see game because within the next 2 to 3 hours the risk is going to go up, but it's also going to be harder for storms to fire. So it's a lot of we're going to wait and see how storms play out. All right. So the special weather statement expires in 15 minutes. I think they're probably going to call it sooner than that just because the storm that has a special weather statement is moving out of the area. Um, also looks like it's decreasing in strength. So we can go to our SRV. And we can see that at least aloft winds are definitely not as strong as they probably could be, right? So a lot of the surface winds down here. So this is a few thousand feet up, right? And it's going to be hard for storms down here because there's can be sometimes a radar gap, right? There's a radar gap right in here. There's another one. There's a few others throughout the U.S., but this is going to be a radar gap that's most concerning today because we won't really be able to see. Well, never mind. There's radar here. I'm special. Um, but we're just going to wait and see what happens. New severe thunderstorm warning for the southeastern Detroit area. I don't want to say southeastern Detroit, but very, very far southern suburbs between Detroit and Toledo. This is for southeastern Michigan. This is for 6 mile-an-hour winds and a hail that's less than 3/4 of an inch. Um, these storms are going to be impacting the Milan area, um, Rainsville Township, Monroe Charter Township, Monroe, Frenchtown, and Berlin Charter Township, all within the next hour to hour and a half. Um, so yeah, severe thunderstorm warning. There's also another severe thunderstorm warning in West Virginia for 60 mile-an-hour winds is going to be the main threat for that. So right now we got storms that are still developing down. Oh yeah. So we got storms that are still developing right here. Um, this storm still appears to be dying out, so this one's not really as much of a concern as per se these ones are going to be. Um, check northern Wisconsin. Northern Wisconsin right now, this is pretty much it. You got a line of thunderstorms moving northeast at roughly anywhere from between 30 to 40 miles an hour. Um, the main severe threat ends at about here, right? The largest severe threat for Wisconsin is going to be the western half of Wisconsin. Um, right now, we've got two special weather statements. One is for wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour and torrential rainfall up to 1 inch with isolated hail. These storms are probably going to be getting less and less severe as they move further east. So I would say it's just going to be more of a wind threat than anything. And yes, I do. Right. I chase with my girlfriend, and us two do it. We have a few other people that sometimes join us from time to time, and some that still need to join us so they can get a day off work. But anyways, as of now, the for your area, Owen, I would say you aren't going to be in much of a risk today. Yeah, you should be good. It shouldn't be as much of a severe risk as this side of Wisconsin. Um, an isolated tornado still can't be ruled out, but I would hurt that more for this side of the state, like right in this area, than the eastern side of the state. So it's going to be more sheltered on the western, or yeah, the western side of the state. I would say between Chippewa Falls across and Stevens Point would probably be the furthest areas of that. Maybe up to Rice Lake. And I mean, you could see something closer to Oshkosh, but give me a second. So I'm so right now I'm just going through to see if we have anything of importance. I mean, here we can go to watch desk really quick, and we can look at current wildfires. Um, Here, let me flip over to Opera. There we go. Cool. So, let's look at watch desk for a wildfire map right now. Um, Currently, as of so this is really I think the biggest one going on right now is post fire in far western LA County, far eastern Ventura County. It's at 15,600 acres, with multiple evacuation orders on it. Um, it's currently 8% containment as of an hour ago. Um, right now we got multiple helicopters and fixed wing assets that are over the fire, um, and or refueling in other areas. So there's also fire, I think, closer to southern, if it's still going on. There's the Hesperia fire, which is at a little over 1,000 acres. That's at 30% containment. Um, Currently there's 151 incidents going on. Pioneer Fire in Washington's at 3,800 acres. It was updated a day ago, and we don't have any update on containment. With multiple evacuation orders for Moore Point, south to Canoe Creek, Canoe Creek to Lone Fir Creek, and Fir Creek Campground in Washington. That should be on the eastern side of that fire. But right now, definitely the biggest issue for fires right now is that post fire in LA County. So that's fire. That's major fire news. So we'll go back to the radar. Here's that other storm that's still developing. Currently moving north-northeast at about 38 miles an hour. If I was chasing, I would definitely go for this one. We'll see how it plays out. Like I said earlier, the air is too stable to have updrafts in it, right? So your updraft is going to be caused by your warm air parcels rising through the atmosphere. And right now, the air is too warm for those air parcels to rise, so it's a stable atmosphere. So if we can get updrafts and we can get storms to continue, we could see a major tornado threat for today. But it's really a conditional threat that I would say it's still 50-50 on if it's going to go or not. Yeah, I don't think there's anything too worried to be or too much to be worried about. It's definitely going to be more of a wind threat than anything for the storms in northern or central northern Wisconsin. Um, because it's not, yeah, it's just too much of a wind threat. There's a limited tornado threat. You still can't rule out an isolated tornado, but as of now, it's really just a wind threat. So we can go to our spotter network map really quick and see who is on that cell. And yep, look at that. So the green dots are the most actively updated spotter locations. Um, and then obviously it goes yellow, or yeah, yellow, then orange and red. Um, so yeah, look at that. This storm's already starting to die out again. Um, yeah, it's really it's going to be, I think it's going to be a bust day. I really do. We'll wait and see for the next hour, 2 hours. Um, we'll wait to see for the next like 2 hours, but there's not going to be a whole lot with today. Um, at least to my knowledge, there probably won't be. So yeah, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button also to help get the word out for today, because even though there's still limited severe risk, the risk isn't zero. Um, so we're just going to keep tracking these storms, and we're going to keep seeing what's happening. So yeah, this is the storms that we're going to be following. This storm's almost died out. I have no idea why they haven't canceled this yet. I guess because it expires so soon. Um, but otherwise, okay. We're gonna go down to Odessa, Texas, where there is a severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-an-hour winds and 2.5-inch size hail. So you're looking at um, Fort Stockton and areas southwest of Fort Stockton, um, on either Route 67, Route 385, and coming towards the southeastern side of Fort Stockton, and along Route 285. This is definitely a damaging storm. Um, we can go to our hydrometer classification, and we can see that there is, at least the radar is showing that there is going to be some major hail in this area of the storm. So if you are anywhere in the areas west of Fort Stockton, especially along Interstate 10, if you are in Fort Stockton, find a place to pull over. So if you're in this area, find a place to pull over. Even if you're on the highway, more west of it, find a place to pull over, because this is extremely dangerous hail. Right? You have tennis ball sized hail coming down from the sky. It's really that simple. Um, so this is definitely a dangerous storm going on right now. That is west of Fort Stockton, Texas. The storm is tracking southeast at 18 miles an hour, so it's a very slow moving storm, right? So in the next 45 minutes, it's going to get towards the southern part of or get through the southwestern part of Fort Stockton. Um, or else something also that we might cover. I don't know if it'll be on here or if it's just going to be on Twitter. Is this area right here? This we are expecting within the next week um, tropical storm to hit the area. Um, the tropical depression still hasn't formed, but the ingredients for a tropical depression are starting to form in the Gulf of Mexico, around in here. Um, we're expecting that to move north into Texas. Um, so we'll keep our eyes watched on that. We'll update more on Twitter once the time gets closer. Um, if you haven't already, follow us on Twitter, join our Discord, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Um, that's all I can say so far. So yeah, this storm's starting to die out more. We can go to yeah. So what should just say on hours reflectivity? This storm is starting to die out. Um, it's getting smaller, it's getting less intense. This is the problem we're having with today, right? You have we'll go to 30 frames really quick. You have these storms that are grow and grow and grow and then die out, right? Same thing for here, right? It's growing, it's forming, forms really well, and then starts to die out right around here. So it's this is what I keep talking about with the problem with today is that there is a lot of there's a lot of energy enough for storms to fire, but there won't be enough for storms to continue. All right, so we're going to go over here, go back to Michigan. Um, Once again, this severe thunderstorm warning is for this cell with 60-mile-an-hour winds. Um, right now it's you know it's forming a severe thunderstorm. I would not be surprised if we get closer to 70-mile-an-hour winds. So if you are in the Milan area and then more closer to the Van Buren Charter Township and Taylor areas of Michigan and even into the Detroit metropolitan area, I would stay on the lookout for these storms, right? And even over the border into Windsor, Ontario, and Lakeshore, Ontario, um, yeah, these storms can produce hail, are producing hail. But the main threat for these storms is going to be your 60-mile-an-hour winds. Oh yeah, you could see the outflow boundary right here, pushing this way. So, 1 second. Here, I am going to stop for 1 second. Oh, here we go. Now this is starting. Looks like this cell's starting to recycle a little bit. I wish we had something. Okay. So, where we're at right now with today. Um, Still have storm. Okay, great. That was fun. So anyways, so still have storms in Wisconsin right now. Area with most severe threat is going to be this cluster of storms that's down here. These storms are moving east at around 20 to 30 miles an hour. Um, yeah, about 20 to 30 miles an hour. Um, and we are looking at Toma, Sparta, New Lisbon, Mouston, Elroy, Hillsborough, Greenwood, Lafarge, Viroqua, Shelby, La Crosse, West Salem, um, and then Ruin, Mouston, Adams, Del Prairie, the Dells, Reedsburg, Baraboo, and maybe down into the Soldiers Center and Richland or Soldiers Grove and Richland Center, maybe, are going to be impacted within the next 2 hours. So right now we have a cluster of cells that are moving northeast out of Gillette, Colorado. There's a special weather statement for 50-mile-an-hour winds and penny-sized hail that has been issued that expires in 18 minutes. So these storms will track through far western or northwestern South Dakota into North Dakota. These do have a hail and wind risk for it, so don't, I guess, disregard these storms either, right? Even though it's not the main threat that we're looking at, they still can pose a threat, right? And that's true with any storm in this area today, right? Just because it's not necessarily a tornado threat doesn't mean that it's not going to be a threat. So yeah, now this right now, this is the only cell that we have out right now. So it's time to see what this cell can do. Give me 1 second. Okay. So yeah, we can go down to differential reflectivity, and we're looking at our updraft being, shit, if I can get the right one, that'd be awesome. Right in here, right? So it's still a storm that really has a nice updraft in here, but which should help it continue to move through western Nebraska, or well, central Nebraska, up towards the Mullen area, along Route 2, or well, it's kind of paralleling Route 97, so following Route 97 up. I wouldn't be surprised if this keeps developing. I'm going to check Twitter really quick to see if there's um Yeah, I swear to God, if this cooks, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll be honest. And a special weather statement just issued. Expires in 44 minutes for wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour, penny sized gale. So we could see a. If this keeps increasing, we could see a severe thunderstorm warning out of it. Um, what's nice is that it is close to the radar, so we will be able to see more of what's going to happen at the lower levels of the cell than the upper levels of the said cell. So yeah, we're looking at this one cell that is near as between Tryon and Arthur, Nebraska. It's moving northeast towards Mullen and Seneca, Nebraska. Um, this cell has a history of producing 50-mile-an-hour winds and penny-sized hail. It is still increasing in intensity. Um, so we'll see what happens. One second, I want to see something. Do I have a... Oh, I don't. Damn. That sucks. I have to play around with it a little bit. Whatever. It's... Yeah. Damn, I don't have... Yeah, damn, that sucks. Oh, well. Um... Oh, God. Camera's going crazy. So yeah, for this, it's just a waiting game to see what's going to happen. Um, Okay. So yeah, now we're just waiting. Let's look at the SRV. Not really much, right? So there's not really a ton of rotation in it, which is to be expected. Um, we can look at the differential reflectivity and see that there's still fairly decent updraft right here. So on this side of the storm, right, so you got air going up this way, then over here where the heavy precipitation is, you got air going down. And then when it's coming down in the form of rain, right? Like over here, right? You got updraft, wind's picking that, bringing it up, and over here it's coming down in the form of rain. So we're waiting. It's just a waiting game. Um, so yeah, now we're just waiting. We got two cells up now. First cell is moving north-northeast, 33 miles an hour. Second cell is moving north at 29 miles an hour. This cell is really going to be the one to look at more. Um, as of now, but I think after this is pretty much going to be our last potential for severe weather right now in Nebraska. Um, so now we're just waiting to see. Um, we're just waiting. It's just waiting game to track this storm. Um, and yeah. So yeah, now we're just waiting. It's it's just it's just waiting. So, around the U.S. right now, that storm that's northeast of Gillette is now severe warned for 60-mile-an-hour winds and inch-and-a-quarter sized hail. That's about half-hour sized hail. Um, that storm will be near Hewlett in the next 10 to 20 minutes. Um, right now, you should, if you are in Hewlett or you are along State Route 24, um, between the 1424 intersection and between Hewlett and Alva, Colorado, or sorry, Wyoming, um, you should be taking shelter immediately. That includes if you're on State Route 222, um, between Mona and Alva. And also, if you're in Mona, you should be starting to take shelter decently soon. Probably, I'd say within the next 10 minutes. Um, or else we'll go back down to Texas really quick. Um, ooh, hold up. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of rotation in there. Just a tiny bit. So right now that storm that's south of Fort Stockton has inch and three quarters of golf ball sized hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds. If you are in the path of this storm, you should be taking shelter immediately, which is anywhere on the southwestern side and the southern side of Fort Stockton. Um, this is going to be near the Round Mountain area by, what was that? This would be in the Round Mountain area in the next hour. So if you live anywhere within this area, you should start taking shelter immediately inside a sturdy structure. Um, we got wind damage report for multiple trees down in the southern Detroit area. Southern storms are producing 60-mile-an-hour winds. If you're in the Milan area or the Ash Township area or anywhere south of it to the Whiteford and Bedford Township areas, you should be starting to take shelter. Now, get inside a sturdy structure to protect yourself from these severe winds. So we'll go back to Nebraska. Yeah, they're just kind of waiting, right? It's kind of, it's So yeah, we'll keep on this Fort Stockton cell. Not a whole lot going on right now. We can go back and look at the fire weather map really quick. See if there's any new updates on fires right now. You got the South Fork fire and the Salt fire in New Mexico. Oh, flip over to Opera really quick. The Salt fire and South Fork fire in New Mexico currently. Um, the Salt fire is at around 1,300 acres, while the South Fork fire is at about 3,000 acres. Unknown status on containment for both. We can go look at cameras. Oh, okay, so that's just user submitted photos. Great. Where else? We got. So there was a larger fire. Here, give me 1 second here. I'm gonna pull the radar back up really quick. We're gonna go back to Nebraska. We're just gonna keep following this. South Fork Fire. So that is down here. All right, we're gonna go back to our fire map really quick. So we're on the South Fork Fire that is spreading towards Alto and Ruidoso, Ruidoso, New Mexico. And right now, I'm trying to find any good fire. Grant Toaster with, um, who is he with? KRQE has this video of the fire approaching Ruidoso right now. Um, this was posted about 3 hours ago. Um, so yeah, evacuation orders have been given for these communities. Um, if you're in any of these evacuation orders, even if you're in evacuation warning, you should take your evacuation warnings, especially for these fires, mountainous terrain, as evacuation orders. Don't wait till you're in an evacuation order to evacuate, right? You should leave as soon as you can if you have a fire that's getting anywhere close to threatening your area. Um, so we'll go to ADSB Exchange really quick and we'll look at aircraft ops. Um, still have, looks like you have another Turbo Commander coming out for air attack. I don't know if this is an air attack commander. I haven't seen this one yet on fires, but I'm not fully positive. So we'll go over to New Mexico really quick, where is our 10 tanker crew at? Oh, yeah, because I'm looking around state. Here we go. Tanker 912. Here's air attack for that fire right now. And then you got two more large air tankers that are currently on the fire with the 10 tanker VLAT, which is a very large air tanker. And you have another air attack aero commander coming out to help with the fire. And you got a lead point out. So we got two large air tankers up in the VLAT. You have another air tanker that's coming in towards the fire. That's really about it on the fire front right now. We'll go back to the radar and we'll keep monitoring that. As of now, it looks like there's not really many storms that are firing. You got these two cells that look like they could be starting to die out here again. Yeah, it looks like these two cells look possibly starting to die out again. We'll go back to Midland, Odessa, with a report from a county emergency manager reporting golf ball sized hail at FM 2036 and Spur 194. So this is destructive hail. Destructive hail, destructive winds. This is a storm that you should treat almost as if it's a tornado warning, right? Because this is an extremely destructive storm, especially if you live within this area. Because this is where the biggest hail threat is going to be. And if you live along this area and out, so around here, This is where your biggest hail threats or your biggest wind threat's going to be, right? So you live anywhere in this area, you should be seeking shelter inside a building immediately. And if they're most likely going to extend the severe thunderstorm warning for the Southwest. So if you live anywhere in this area of southwestern Texas, you should start looking at seeking shelter inside of a sturdy building as soon as possible. Um, what else is going on? Severe thunderstorm warning for northern Pennsylvania for 60-mile-an-hour winds with a report of trees down on wires. Cool. So, for your thunderstorm warning, you live in, I should say, if you live in this area, you should start taking shelter inside of a building immediately. If you're out in front of it, near Gallagher, Salzburg, Jersey Shore, Avis, Lock Haven, Williamsport, um, Mill Hall, Montgomery, or White Deer, you should start looking at taking shelter as soon as you can. Um, you should start looking at start getting inside of a sturdy structure. That includes if you're in the Little Pine State Park or State Game Lands number 89. You should look at start getting into a sturdy structure. Alright, go back to Nebraska. Eh, it's just eh. We're gonna shift back to the fire aspect really quick. This image is from Alan Stoddard for Ruislado, New Mexico. Um, right now, uh, the current fire is moving towards the town. Um, if we can get over there pretty quick. The South Fork fire is moving into town. If you are in the town, if you are on both sides, if you're in Ponderosa Heights, Ruislado, Hollywood, Ruislado Downs, Alto, or Alpine Sellers Village, or anywhere west of or east of there or west of there, you should be starting your evacuation plans. No matter if you're in evacuation order, evacuation warning, or not in an evacuation at all, you should be starting your evacuation preparedness as soon as possible because this fire is moving into the town. If you're in the town of Ruidoso or Ponderosa Heights or Alto or the southern part of Alto, you should be evacuating now. This fire is moving towards your cities at this moment. So we're gonna go back to the weather radar really quick, see what's going on in Nebraska. Um, go back to Texas really quick. Nothing really a new note. We're just sitting here waiting for something to happen. It looks like these storms aren't really producing a lot. Storms of velocity. So yeah, we're just waiting. So, right now, we are. If this expires and nothing comes of it, I am most likely going to end the stream because nothing is really happening. Um, Actually, yeah, I'm going to end it now. Um, Thank you all for tuning in. If something pops up again later, I'll do an impromptu stream. But as of now, there's not really anything that's going to pop up. So we're going to end it here. Thank you all for watching, and I hope everybody has a good night. So